Thank you, and it's always great to talk to you and your team. And um, just it's a lot of exciting things going on in our company that over the last 2 or 3 weeks have really started to kind of raise their head. And I feel incredible about where the company's going right now. But I really wanted to take this moment and I want to go back and I want to do something that I did a couple, 3 weeks ago. I'd actually gotten a letter or an email on a Saturday morning from the CEO of OST. And I read that on a couple, Jerrod. In fact, I actually sent it to you, but I did it because so few people, I think, really get it, and what I mean by that, I was in this business a long time, maybe, and I could accuse myself of not getting it. But, I've been on this, it's not a theme, it's who we are about building and developing your business, period. There's no caveats to that. That's what we were built for. And, we're a little over 3.5 years old. We spent millions of dollars so far in our infrastructure. I'm told this week we've got a lot of things coming out on our tech side. I think we got something coming out that's going to blow everybody's mind tonight. But, I was told that last week too. So let's just kind of hang on and as they're working through some of their bugs there. But I love where we're going to be here in the next week or so. But I wanted to read you something. And the reason I want to start off today is I had an opportunity to talk with Jerrod's regional managers. I guess Jerrod, what was it, last Thursday? And I actually said it today on 11 o'clock call, and I want to say it out loud one more time, and I want to segue right into this letter, and I want to give you a couple of things. Every one of you are building your business. So the point that I was talking with Jerrod's regionals about last Thursday is that you got to find people that are willing to change, number one, okay? All of us, if we're going to grow, if you really just kind of think about it, if you are going to get out of the situation you're in, and I think if you are happy with the situation you were in, you wouldn't be here, right? When I ended up getting in this business it was 40 years ago, I did it because I was tired of being broke. Even as a 20-year-old, I knew I was getting ready to get married, right? I knew I didn't have a bunch of corporate headhunters sitting outside of my door waiting to pay me. And so I just wanted to change, man. So when I came in, I really came in hitting the ground running. And I think that you've got to, number one, you got to be willing to change, man. You got to be willing, you got to grow as a CEO, and you have to mature as a leader, and you got to find a way to surround yourself with those people and don't get discouraged. They're out there, right? I live with this theme, and I took a lot of pride in it. And I believe there are a lot of you sitting out there as you're growing your business. You got to remember this: tough times don't last, tough people do, right? Tough times do not last, but tough people do. And it's the reason toughness is one of our 6 core values, right? I love that it's tough because I know how great the rewards are. And so let me kind of go in. I want to read you something. This was sent to me on Saturday morning, July the 20th. The reason I remember it, I was going about 85, 90 miles an hour down I-95, Jerrod, from Ponte Vedra back to my home in Lynchburg. I'd been in Florida for about 3 weeks. And as I'm reading it, Pam Clarkson is sitting over saying, I've told you not to read when you're going 90 miles an hour, right? But this Meredith, who's the CEO there, had sent me this email. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I want to go back because I think it sums up where you are today, right? She's sending me this email is the very same email that I could send to you today. And she said this, she said, as a business leader, I get it, right? I dadgum get it, Barry. I understand the challenges of executing on number one, a vision, okay, of finding just the right balance of energy, of reality, Jerrod, of not, right? Because most of, we don't like to think about reality. We think we're invincible sometimes when we set our goals up, of listening. Now, here's the key, and cheering to bring others along in the journey, right? So as you're sitting here talking about and thinking about building your business, you're trying to bring others along in this vision that you see, right? You get it. You're here. Excuse me for coughing a little bit, but so I got to read this thing to you one more time. As a business leader, that's who you are. That's who I am. I understand the challenges. So she's not oblivious to the challenges. And I always like dealing with somebody that's been there, because a lot of people haven't been there. And it's the reason, Jerrod, I don't have a lot of guest speakers in at our conferences, is I want people, if they're going to be addressing our company, I want them to get it, right? I want them to understand what it's like out there to execute on a vision of finding the right balance. And I'm going to talk to you a lot today in the time I've got about balance, because you as a leader have got to find balance in recruiting and selling, and too many people go too far in one direction. But there is a deal here that you gotta understand what the reality of the moment is. You gotta be willing to listen. You gotta cheer. You're cheering to bring other people along. Now, here's the other point. I'm gonna get off of this quick. She talks about, she says, Barry, y'all's company's communication and collaboration strategy is thoughtful and effective. And I do think that it is, right? I really do. You may not understand the madness sometimes, but it is well thought out, and I do believe it's been pretty effective. Now, here's what I want to get across to you that she's saying to me. I get it, Barry. It hasn't been without its heartache and its headaches. And yeah, that's right. All of us, when we're building a business, we have some heartaches. We don't understand why some people don't get it. And it also comes with headaches. Now, here's what I want to my last sentence here, or two sentences to go. She said, I know, because I'm a CEO and a president of someone who's on the outside, right? So she's on the outside looking at Equus. Is Dave Snyder, Nate, Mike Athos, right? Eric Boland, as I'm sitting here looking at you, I don't feel like I'm on the outside, but today I'm speaking with you that I'm sitting on the outside, and I'm looking at you and I'm saying, man, I get it, right? Because here's what she says to me of when I almost ran out between those two yellow lines, because she got it. She said this, it's clear that you at Equus are doing something that few organizations pull off. How you like that? Few organizations pull off what we're trying to pull off here. And so I guess I would say to you today, you're out there trying to create a new lifestyle. You're trying to become debt-free. You're trying to create, more importantly than all of that, a consistency and longevity in your cash flow, whether you're selling or not selling, right? All of us embrace, when I think about this recruiting business, one reason why I never ever quit, right, there was nothing for me that I was fighting for and I longed for and I bled for more than trying to become wealthy, because that never was a goal of mine. But just my nature, right? Because I'm a conservative and I come from a middle income background. I wanted security. It's why most people aren't entrepreneurs. They never go in business for themselves, is because they want the security of a paycheck. And I understand that. I get that, right? So understand this. If you're trying to build a business, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, the odds are stacked against you, right? That most people don't pull it off. But the only reason they don't pull it off is they're not honest with themselves. They don't keep it simple. And they don't make a commitment to surround themselves with people that are willing to change, grow, and mature, right? And you know what I just said at 11 o'clock, I meant it, right? If you're inside of this book right here every day, right? You know, if you're in this every single day, 7 days a week, you go to bed with it, you wake up with it, you cuddle it during the night, right? Is because every answer to your business is in here. And when you deviate or you think you're too grown up in the business or you've been doing this too long to document and write things down, it's when minutia sneaks into the business plan and game plan and you get off track, right? That's the reason Napoleon Hill said on point number 3 of his 4 points, that if you as a leader don't have a mind that is totally sealed against negative influences, you really never will have a shot at making it in this thing. See? And I don't want you to get beat on what you can control. We might get beat on market conditions once in a while. We might get beat on some things. But let's never get beat on attitude and work and fundamentals, because we're better than that, right? We're too good. It's where we excel more than the competition, because their competition likes to talk about things that really never is going to happen for them, right? We talk about business principles, fundamentals, and it's why we've grown like we had over the last 3.5 years. Now, I understand we got a lot of people, and listen, I want you to hear me loud and clear on this, and I got about 12 minutes, so I got to rock and roll. I'm running a sales contest, which I never do. Okay? I never do that because I think sales are a byproduct of recruiting and training the right people. I do that. So to me, I think recruiting is everything. But the reason I ran the sales contest is because I want you to make money and become an attraction factor, right? You got to get that crazy, wild look in your eye again. And if you don't have the eye of the tiger, you're not going to recruit anybody, right? People got to know they're following the leader out there, right? And you can't be inhibited or afraid to show your raw emotion and excitement and enthusiasm. You got to be a coach willing to call a play. And I think you got to set yourself on fire by making money and getting a pep back in your step, right? And so I want all of us to do that. You know, I changed my life, man. I got to tell you something. And one of you, I don't think any more down and out than this guy was, right? You talking about down and out in a picture of mediocrity. And then I decided I wasn't going to sit in this desk anymore and be coaching, that I was going to get me some leads. I went out in the field, started making $3,500 a week, totally changed my life, okay? I mean, I tell a story about a few years after that, making $40 million over. Well, let me tell you what. Yeah, I did that. In fact, probably more than that. But you know what? I did it because of that $3,500. See, I never would have had the confidence to go make $40 million if I didn't make $3,500. So it's the reason I talked on Friday about positioning yourself. You got to position yourself. Most of you aren't going to go out and become financially independent in the next 4 months, but you can position yourself over the next 4 months to capitalize and grow more in 2020 And then in 21 and maybe 2022, the world changes, right? You know, I'm not a prophet, so I can't tell you when things are going to happen. I just know that what we've got to do as leaders is do the right things every day. I know we got to do that. And if you're not committed to that, or you don't have that mental toughness in drive and commitment, and you don't stay embedded, I'm talking about embedded in the fundamentals, then you're going to get your tail kicked, right? Now, I'm going to say this to you. Salespeople wake up every single day unemployed. They do. And I know we make our living selling, but if you want to cut open their company, you want to cut open the heart and soul. You want to look at Equus. You know, when they're writing in 10 years from now, and they're writing some history books, right? They're sitting there saying, how in the heck did Equus separate itself? How did we go out and build this mammoth company, right? Here's what they're going to do. They're going to come back and they're going to say they did it through the Equus system. They gave average, ordinary people an opportunity to go out there who didn't have a pot to piss in, right? And they weren't, you know, some deadgum, I don't know, straight A student, right? In fact, we gave people like me a chance to go out there and do something. They're going to tell you that the difference in our system is this Constitution. So you as a business leader, okay, now I never ever, Jerrod to tell you, I don't use condescending comments because I don't let people do that with me, never have. And nor do I do it with you. It's the reason that the first core value is respect. But I'm going to say this to you. The part of a leader that you got to mature in, all of us, is we can go out there and sell our butts off. But you remember this, whoever the number one salesperson is at our company in 2019, we're going to bring them up and we're going to give them a nice trophy and all that crap at our conference, right? At our recognition banquet on Saturday night. But can I give you the bad news? They're going to start over at 0 again in 2020. So what I want to tell you is, yeah, go out there and create that excitement, but recruiting and building is an all the time thing. It never stops. You never walk away from it. You're always looking for that next person. You're always sharing our opportunity. You're not prejudging. We're not God. We can't look inside of the heart, right, and tell if people got the goodies or not. So every client, if you're at the gym, if you're at the gas station, you're always talking about the opportunity, and you ought to be smiling if you're out making money. Most people will come up and say, what the crap are you smiling at, right? And here's the reason, because you're living a dream, right? That's what happens when you become debt-free. That's what happens when all of a sudden you're driving a car like you want to drive, right? Or you dress the way that you want to dress. And so all of it is part of success. And I want you to get it, but please, 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 right? Don't stop recruiting just because we've got a sales contest. They go hand in hand. And as a business leader, as a CEO, right? There's that letter she sent me, that email, and I read it to you, and I'm talking to you the same way. As a leader, you got to be in balance. And when you get think of it this way. I want you to think of it this way. If you as a leader building a business gets out of balance, can you imagine how out of balance your teammates get? Because they've got to see consistency in you, right? I want to, I still believe the Equus opportunity. I don't believe it. I bleed it. I know it. It's in my DNA. There ain't a better part-time opportunity on the planet than what we give people, because we provide leads for them, right? We give them great training, infrastructure. We do all of those things, and we allow people to start part-time, okay? Now, I will be the first to admit, you make that transition into full-time, you got to be a stud. You got to believe in yourself if you're going to go live on a commission income and start building those overrides and all of that. And that's where the big opportunity comes in our company. And I got to tell you something, guys, it isn't going to happen over a 10-year period of time. It'll happen over an 18 to 24-month period of time that you really position yourself and explode. And so I hung on to that dream for 16, 17, 18 years before it happened to me. And our system is so much better. I will tell you this, can look you right here in this camera. I don't know if you can see my eyes, but I'll tell you something. I believe anybody that joins us, it can happen in a 36-month period of time because our system is that strong. Now, you may have to come in and fumble around and fart around a little bit, right, before you realize how great our system is. But once you are locked and loaded and you do what that lady Jennifer said today, and you're coachable and say, you know what, I'm going to quit trying to create and I'm going to start imitating what has got y'all's company to where it is today, I believe it happened in 36 months. So I've some of you going to understand this, but they're the 6 principles that I like to look at. And here's the reason I got to give them to you quick because I've only got about 3 or 4 minutes. But remember this, okay? So if you're out here and you're brand new, hadn't recruited anybody, I want you to write these 6 things down, and I want this to be your master game plan because your success or your failure is going to evolve around these 6 things. Number 1, attitude. That's what you control, drives your prospecting. Because if you got a bad attitude, Ryan Duvner, you're not going to be a great prospector, right? So attitude drives prospecting. And it's the reason you better carve out a few minutes every morning to do whatever you do to control this. I know what I have to do. And I know when it starts stinking what I didn't do. Okay. Number 2, prospecting drives recruiting, right? You've got to plant some seed if you ever want to harvest. And it's your job to share the opportunity. It's your job to be doing everything that you can control. And you never, ever, you got to be relentless, even if you're out selling, right? See, here's what I believe, Jerrod. I don't talk enough about this. And I used to say it out loud, and I need to start saying it out loud. I believe you can go write 10 sales this week, get all 10,000 of it paid for, and if you didn't recruit somebody, your week sucked. You had a bad week, right? If you're a builder, okay? Number 3, now listen to this. We talked a lot about this, and here's why I'm going to hold this ecosystem up. Recruiting drives promotions. People get excited about 2 things, their next promotion and their income. You want to build a big organization, get everybody going toward their next promotion. Every new recruit, before they buy leads, in my opinion, they ought to be trying to recruit 3 people, become a sales manager, and go out there and help those people, right, get qualified. So recruiting drives promotions. Equus Financial, I wrote this down. I was looking for this. I wish I could see. You know, I always like to, right? I wrote this stuff down yesterday morning. I can't get to it, right? Because I get up every Saturday and Sunday, and I go out there and spend an hour or 2 writing all my thoughts down about how we're going to grow this week over last week. And I want our company to have more of a promotion culture than it currently has. Now, here's where the fun gets. Here's where you start cashing in on your chips. Promotion, see, recruiting, right, drives promotions. Promotions drive production. See, if I'm going for a new business high, right, I want to drive my production through the success of my recruits writing business. Production Woo, baby, we getting ready to get after it. Production drives earnings. Production drives the bottom line. Production drives your paycheck. It provides everything that we're working for. And then here's the deal. Lastly, earnings. Your ability to make money drives leadership. That's what drives leadership. Okay? Attitude drives prospecting. Prospecting drives recruiting. Recruiting drives promotions. Promotions drive production, right? Production drives earnings, and earnings drive the leadership in your organization, because somebody has, if you're going to build an organization, we're in the outlet business. You want 1 Coke machine or 10 Coke machines? You want 1 McDonald's or 10 McDonald's? And by the way, look here, our margins in this business are greater than hamburgers, are greater than Coca-Colas, right? So always be thinking outlets, expansion. How do I drive outlets and moving products simultaneously? How do I do that? Okay. And I'm telling you, that's the ecosystem. Guys, thank you, Jerrod, for letting me be on a few minutes today. Love where we're going, but we got to get people that get it, man. We got to find people that get it and have that ability to stay locked and loaded on their goals, and don't get thrown off course all the time. Okay, so that's it. Guys, have a great week and a great Monday. Thank you much.
Barry, thank you so much. Have a great day. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.